Hey guys, welcome back to this new video. Today I'm going to do a little color grading tutorial in DaVinci Resolve, and it's going to be particularly focused on how to work and how to apply the Buttery LUTs collection to your footage. As you can see here, I have footage from the original Blackmagic, from the Pocket 4K, the Sony Alpha, I think the A7 III, Ursa Mini Pro G2, and the GH5S. So the goal of this tutorial is to show you how to actually work with these Buttery LUTs. I'm gonna go through the natural Rec 709 for sure, and also through the creative LUTs. It's actually very simple process, as you're gonna see in this video, but I decided to do it anyway because a lot of people keep asking me, and you know, maybe they're just new, they're just starting. And I totally get it. When I first came out with the idea of these LUTs, I thought that just people that were already able to color grade would be interested in these LUTs. But I'm having more and more people that they do something completely different on their channel. Maybe they just do tutorial, people that do like kitchen show, like they're using the Pocket 4K and they need a LUT that can convert their log footage into the Rec 709 the most natural way possible. And they basically asked me how to do it, what's the setting, about the tint, the white balance, and all this kind of stuff. So in this tutorial, I want to simply go through these LUTs and this footage and show you guys how I grade my clips with these LUTs. Let's just start with the original Blackmagic Pocket footage. And there is a reason why I want to start with this. I actually had no clue till about 2 weeks ago that our LUT was working perfectly with the original Blackmagic Pocket footage. Because there's a trick, and I had no clue I could do this, but I want to share it with you. So basically, this is our clip. If we go here into the raw settings, as you can tell, we have the option, because I shot Cinema DNG RAW, of course, to select clip. And when I select clip, of course, all the options, the raw controls, they are enabled. So in order to use the natural Rec 709 on the original Pocket, what you need to do first is to go over Color Science tab, and you have the option to switch to V4. So that's what you want to do. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a second node, because that's a very important thing, and it's one of the only few things that you have to keep in mind. So you want to apply your LUT on the node number 2. And do your basic adjustment on the node number 1. So first of all, let's bring up the scopes here. It's going to give us an idea about where we are with level. So this case, we are color temperature of, let's set it to 5000. Tint is set as 17, and this is a basic raw setting that the DNG had it. And I kind of gonna leave it like that, because you see the LUT work perfectly when the tint is set to 17. This is exclusively on the original Blackmagic Pocket. If you're working on the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, you probably want to have your tint set to 0. But let's go ahead, right click, LUTs, 3D LUTs, Buttery LUTs, natural, Blackmagic, and we're gonna put our V3 on it here. There we go. So as you can see, we still have some work to do. So what I usually do now is, you see, I switched back, I went back on the first node, and from here, I'm gonna start adjusting my image. And then I'm gonna decrease maybe the shadows a little bit, gonna come down with the meat, and right now it seems that it tends a little bit on the blue. So what I usually do here, you can either do temperature here, but because we shot raw, we can just do here and put maybe 6000. There we go. So now it's more balanced. I think it's still, it's probably a little bit magenta, and that's because the tint here is set at 17. So what I usually do with the original Pocket, I drop it to 10, and it already looks much better. As you can see from the vector scope, everything is balanced, and that's your basically your skin tone indicator. And we're pretty much right there. So this is the before and after, and this is with the natural Rec 709. So again, apply the LUT on the node number 2, and then node number 1, do your basic adjustment. I recommend setting the tint to 10, because automatically Cinema DNG goes to 17, no idea why. This was shot on Blackmagic Pocket, the original one, with the speed booster and the Canon FD. There's not much that I did. Is there anything I can do? Can I add a mask right here? and bring down the exposure of the window, I can definitely do that. I'm not gonna do it in this tutorial. Let's try something else now. Let's just leave this image. We can move on this one. I'm just gonna copy the gray that I did before. Let's just reset the value right here. As you can see, it's a little bit overexposed, so I'm just gonna bring down my shadows. Gonna bring down my highlights a little bit of the mid, and 5500. In this case, I was outside and I had an ND on it, so as you can tell, the image is a little bit green, as you can see from the vector scope. So what we could do here is reset the tint to 17, and this kind of goes back to normal. It's a very clean image, very beautiful skin tones. Even here, look what did I do. I put a light on the second node and I did a basic adjustment. I brought down the shadows and I brought down the middle a little bit, and I fixed my white balance, and that's about it. So that's how the natural Rec 709 is supposed to work. It's a tool that works for people that are more expert and people that are just starting out and don't really know what to do with DaVinci. You can do this kind of stuff in Premiere and in Final Cut too. You can actually use it on the iPad too. So if you have some Sony H.264, Panasonic GH5, GH5S, H.264, and you're editing in LumaFusion on the iPad, you can use the natural Rec 709 LUT. Now, I also would love to give you guys an example of why our LUT is different, because like this is a very saturated market, and you hear the word LUT kind of like all over. But I want to tell you why our is different, and it's made because it corrects a problem with the extended LUT that Blackmagic provides in its software. So to show you these, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the first node with all the correction that I made intact. Not gonna change any of that. So I'm just gonna basically swap from the natural Rec 709 to what Blackmagic offers, the extended V4. And there you go. As you can tell, something happened. Let me go back. This is the natural Rec 709. This is the Blackmagic extended, and there is definitely something weird, and we realized that there's a red tints going on. First of all, it kind of looks like almost like a film look. So check out her face. It kind of gets brownish. This is the natural, and I'm gonna put it full screen right here. So this is the Blackmagic extended LUT. See, even the highlights, there's a sort of like harsh roll off in my opinion, and that's not even with the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. This is still original pocket footage, but when I go back to the natural, check what happened on her hands. Check what happened where the highlights eat her skin on the forehead. Check that out. There's like way more information that the natural Rec 709 retain. It kind of smooth off the harsh highlights. So the natural, and this is the extended. In terms of dynamic range, check out the shadows on her face. When you go back to the natural, is more open, they're more clean, while the extended just kind of crush them and makes the skin tone look a little bit brownish. So moving on, let me show you guys something from the Pocket 4K. This is ProRes, shot in Mexico. In this case, we're not gonna have any control whatsoever on the RAW settings. So what we're gonna do, same thing, we create two nodes. On the second node, we apply our Buttery Natural, right here, the V3. Perfect, looks absolutely gorgeous. That place was dope. So this is the log, and this is the natural. Here, what should I do? To be honest with you, to be completely honest with you, I don't think there's anything that I will touch in this image. I really, really like it. Probably can bring down the shadows to give a little bit more contrast and bring up the highlights just a tad. That's it. That's everything I would do to this image. Maybe it's a little bit too warm, so if you want to bring down the color temperature a little bit, now it's more balanced for sure. So log and our Rec 709. And on this one, I actually gonna show you the workflow for the creative one, because we have 4 creative LUTs as well. I'm gonna reset the grade. I'm gonna create a second node. The concept, the workflow is exactly the same. They all need to be applied to the log footage. You want to do Buttery LUTs, creative, Blackmagic, crunchy gold. I think it might look kind of cool here. Boom. And just applying the LUT. This is what you get with a crunchy gold LUT. Is extreme? Yes. Look what happened. If I go here on the node number 1, I still have all my information to bring up. You can still modifying. So what I would do is just bring up the shadows a little bit, bring up the mids, the highlights not so much, and there you go. So this is a very quick workflow for using the creative. So it's before and after with the creative. We have the crunchy cold as well. So if I apply the crunchy cold, of course, it's gonna completely change the mood. You can make it darker and still look pretty crazy. Actually, it might look like the kind of like the moonlight. Here, what I would do, to be honest, apply natural rec 709. What I would do, probably come down a little bit with the mid, up a little bit with the shadows, increase a little bit the highlights. Boom, you're good to go. So log natural rec 709. Extremely easy, extremely fast. Very, very important. If you want to have an extremely quick turnaround, you have to know you can bake the LUT into your footage and deliver an extremely natural and good looking image. So this is another example. I'm gonna go here. This is Blackmagic Raw. So this is the first Blackmagic Raw example. I have this dude in Italy smoking his cigar. Extremely simple. Apply the natural. I like it already. I don't know if I will do anything different. It looked a little bit green here. We were in the forest, in the mountains in Italy. So what I could do, come down here. If you want, you can bring up your tint to 5, and that's gonna fix it a little bit. How long did it take? Probably 10 seconds. So let's play back this clip right here. This guy's a really funny guy. 60p, Blackmagic Raw, 12:1. I have to say I'm blown away by this codec, to be really honest with you. I can't see any artifacts, any noise, literally nothing. Image looks absolutely fantastic. This was shot with a $53 Canon FD 70-210 f4 on the speed booster FD2 Micro Four Third. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change the LUT, 3D LUTs here, Blackmagic Design, and extended V4. This is kind of crazy to me. Let me pull full screen. I honestly have no clue why they give us such a lot. Check out the green in the back. This is the natural. This is the extended. It completely mute those green, completely gone. The skin tones turns red, pretty much. It's just not good. Apply the natural right here. And I didn't do any adjustment here in the first node, so I'm just gonna put them side by side. I mean, check out the skin. It goes from brownish to its color, but look at this green, look at this green. They turn on. Check this out. This is the extended, and here it comes the natural Rec 709. Last example, very last one. With the Blackmagic Pocket again, gonna just apply the natural Rec 709 right here. Before on the original Pocket, you saw that I was messing around a little bit more with the tint and everything, but that's because it's the old camera and it's old DNG. But with the B-Raw, this natural Rec 709 works even better. Yeah, I can go ahead here and change whatever I want, but I don't need to. This is the log, and this is the natural Rec 709 on it. This was what you were monitoring, and this is what you got once you bake the LUT in, if you want to do that. What I want to do now, I would love to jump to the Ursa Mini and give you guys a super quick tour of the natural Rec 709 on the Blackmagic Ursa Mini G2. So these clips were shot from this guy here, Garth Bruno Austin. Check out his channel, I'm gonna put in the description below. He does some pretty amazing documentary stuff, and his reviews are amazing. He's a really competent when it comes to filmmaking, and especially Blackmagic camera. I actually sent him out the LUTs for the Ursa Mini G2. He loved them, and he sent me some clips to play around with. And first of all, the G2, wow, is absolutely insane. So, but I want to go straight to the point. Go here, Buttery LUTs, natural, and let's apply the Ursa Mini Pro V3. These were actually Blackmagic Raw file converted to ProRes 44444. The LUT works for, remember guys, ProRes or BRAW. Doesn't change anything, it works and it reacts at the same way. This is absolutely amazing, and I'm already pretty happy. Skin tone look perfect on our vectorscope. Parade looks fine. Nothing wrong there. I just want to really quickly switch to the Blackmagic LUT. Let me put a full screen for you. So this is the what you would get with the extended V4 from Blackmagic, and this is what you get with the natural Rec 709. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy the natural Rec 709. Let me reset all the things here. So yeah, it's a little bit over, of course, middle of the desert. So we're gonna bring down those highlights. And yeah, even here, I might come down with the shadows a little bit with the, I kind of want to reset that tint. I always rather have the footage a little bit on the green side than the magenta. Log right here, and natural Rec 709 on the Ursa Mini G2. Very easy, very simple workflow. Works on both ProRes and Blackmagic Raw. What should we do now? If you are a Blackmagic user, this is pretty much it, because I think I showcased a lot of stuff shown on the Blackmagic. If you are a Sony Alpha user or a GH5S, you can just keep going and follow this tutorial, because now I'm going to go through some of the clips for the GH5S and Sony Alpha and just very quickly show you guys how they look. So I'm just going to swipe very quickly to my Sony sequence. Let's start with the Sony. This is shot on the A7 III. Come here, natural, Sony's look too. I think with Sony it was a kind of a nice challenge, because I'm not a big fan of Sony. It's an 8-bit camera, so it is kind of complicated to get the color right. The color has like natural as possible. Actually, the A7 III is way better in my opinion than the A7S, for example. But in this case, let's see what we could do. Of course, there's no raw control. Can come down here. Even if we didn't shoot raw or 10-bit, it's easy to fix up to a certain point. So I will bring it down to 100. So that's looking quite okay, quite natural. This is A6300, which is actually the camera that impressed me the most when it comes to the natural Rec 709 combination. Of course, it was overexposed, so we come down, and I was actually really happy. This is the event that we shot in Italy, triathlon. And as you can see here, skin tone look absolutely natural. The green looks great. Might be a little too warm. You see, you go down a little bit with the temperature and everything is perfectly balanced. We have another example here. We're just gonna copy and paste. So how we came out with the battery LUTs is we put side by side an Alexa with all these different cameras, GH5S, Sony, and Blackmagic Pocket. And then we tried to mesh them. But after we mesh them, we kind of adapt that footage, that LUT, to all the different situations, Sony footage that we shot. Of course, it's not gonna perfectly match to an Alexa now, because we had to adapt it, because they're two different sensors, two different dynamic range and everything. But it's really inspired by the Arilog C2 Rec 709 LUT. And the skin tones here are good. Let's move on to another clip right here. This is a more kind of difficult situation because the sky is white. So you can see some information are missing, but I just want you to focus on the skin. And here we're shooting at 120p, so it's not even probably the best quality at all. But when I put it side by side with the Pocket, I was pretty happy. It didn't take me much to match them. I basically applied the LUT, did some adjustment with the white balance, with the tint, because of course I had different lenses. On the Pocket I had the FD, here there's a Sigma. They're very different lenses, but when it comes to skin tones, I was actually really happy with the A6300. So of course, A6300, we have the creative LUTs as well. So what I'm gonna do, gonna reset all our value here, and I'm gonna show you guys what the creative LUTs look on the Sony. Battery LUTs, creative for Sony, and we do the crunchy cold maybe. This is of course a little bit overexposed. When you come down, it's of course stylized. because it's called Crunchy Gold. If you're going for a scenario like that, of course, when I applied it here, it looks a little bit different. Again, you can decide how many information you wanted to keep in the sky, in the shadows. And this actually might look even better with the Crunchy Gold. This looks definitely better. The thing with the stylized look, guys, you have to be really careful because they work in certain situations and they don't work in other situations. Soft cold, and this is more kind of like a vintage kind of vibe, so I will use this maybe in like a fashion film, and then I can go ahead and show you the soft gold as well. And this is a soft gold. I love the soft gold too. Imagine this guy having a beer and like a Corona commercial. That might look just fine. And finally, let's just jump to the GH5S, because with the GH5S, I think they look great as well. And I think Panasonic doesn't offer a valid LUT for their GH5S. So or GH5 for that matter, because this LUT is going to work for both GH5 and GH5S. So I have a couple of different situations here. Just want to go ahead and show you the workflow. Let's bring up our scopes. So this is GH5S shot in Paris. Vlog, of course. Keep in mind, guys, you always have to shoot Vlog if you want to use this kind of LUTs. GH5 is natural, and the V1. I didn't do any adjustment. I didn't do anything at all. I have an ND on it. I have a black promise here, so there's a lot going on. I have this 17.5mm Voigtlander. I might, of course, bring down the shadows if I want to make it a little bit more, you know, contrasty and punchy. As right now already, it took me about 15 seconds, and I'm pretty happy with the result. Log and Rec 709 on it. Now, what Panasonic offers is a LUT for the Varicam, and it just doesn't look right. I mean, I might buy what's around there, but the skin tones, it's absolutely not like that. So it goes totally magenta on it. For a camera like the GH5S, which is an absolute great camera, I love it and I shot a bunch of stuff with it, but this is their skin, doesn't look magenta. And you can even check out here in the scopes, you see how these go straight up to the red channel. That's exactly what you're seeing here in the image. When you go down, it's a little bit towards green, which is normal, but the skin is absolutely perfect. If I go back, see the spike here pointing to the red, that's not good. That should be aligned with our skin tone line. And then the natural kind of does the job. So this is a documentary I shot in Italy. Let's grab another still for him, and in this case I'm just gonna use my battery again. Okay, here it's a kind of weird situation. So outside of the house on the left, there's a window, there's like a bunch of trees, and they're reflecting a lot of lights in it. To be honest, I'm quite happy with this. I might push the tint to 5 just to balance that green coming from the trees. Probably color temperature a little bit colder. I did literally 2 adjustments and the image to me looks fine. And of course, as all the other camera, you still have the option to use your creative LUTs. So you can go ahead here, creative, Crunchy Gold. Of course, it's pushy, like always. And then we have our Crunchy Gold, which looks kind of cool. And then all the 2 soft and cold and warm. So yeah, this pretty much wrap it up, guys. I just wanted to show you how to use it, what to do with the tint, where to touch the temperature, how to do all your basic adjustment. So I felt the need to actually put out a video like that, simply because I came out with this last collection and then I got so busy, and I couldn't show you guys how to do it. A lot of people asked for it. As you can tell, there's nothing complicated in all of this. You just need to have an eye on your scope, check where if the image is too hot or too warm or too cold, and put your natural Rec 79 on it and do those basic adjustments. I shoot a lot on Arri Alexa. Every time I shoot on Arri Alexa, the only thing I do, I actually apply the Arri Loxi to Rec 709 LUT to the footage, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So I was like, why there is nothing like this LUT, but for all the other cameras like the Pocket, A7, GH5S, and Ursa Mini. So that's basically was the question behind all the battery LUTs thing. You can do the exact same thing in Premiere and Final Cut Pro and LumaFusion on the iPad. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We're really happy. We're getting so much footage, so much still from people all around the world. Amazing footage from amazing and extremely talented filmmakers out there. And we're really happy that we're making their life easier. Thank you so much, guys, and see you the next one. Bye.